Oscar.
Such bad. Speaking of BO, dude, something about my armpit smelled so bad earlier today, and it's.
There we go. I was taking notes on when I was editing to make sure that.
Okay, let's think about the name that we were gonna talk about. It was something about. Okay.
Podium finish.
Yeah,
baby.
dude. What'd you say? Podium finish.
Podium
nice.
finish. Better than third place.
Damn, we should take a picture called podium finish, but like us, like
finishing.
Like pretend. I was gonna say like pretending to fuck or whatever.
I
like
have all kinds of different like lotions and hand soap up there. It looks like.
Write that down. I do want to try to think of that, but I also want to. The pitch for the GOP segment, the whole point of it.
The point is
that it would be the best version of that is a gentle, nurturing. I want to leave every week with a little bit of a better understanding of guns, and the only way that that's going to happen is if you are conscious about the way that you deliver that, and if I'm open to hearing it. And I'm also only interested in. It's good because it works out, because the only people who are going to listen to it, this is kind of a null thing that we're saying, because the only people who are going to listen to it are going to be people who have some level of nuance. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I know while I'm recording this, there's a chance that I'll become... I'm running out of breath again.
Take your time, man.
I know.
You got 19 minutes. Though.
great. I got a full 40 minutes.
I know. Oh, that's so funny. My point is that...
The point is...
I know that there's a chance that people, when they start recording something or talking about certain topics, can be insecure or skeptical on if people are interested in watching it. My point is...
The point is...
that the world kind of works out sometimes in that I'm only interested in the people who are capable of nuanced conversations about things. And the good news is that that is the only people who are going to listen to it. Because anybody who sees a gun and turns it off isn't going to hear me say that I prefer nuanced conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they only, so it works out. So
well, there are
I'm just
people
realizing that was kind of
there
a
are
null thing
people.
to say.
No, there are people that will listen to try to find things to disagree with, and they will try to find things to combat with in their head and murmur about when they're listening.
What a bummer way
I
to
do the
live.
same thing too. I'll find things. I'll watch
okay.
stuff just to critique things, just to see how wrong they are.
Yeah, I don't.
Because then I have the opportunity for something I know to potentially educate them, or whatever.
But if
we're all learning about each other and about life, why not take the opportunity? I don't care who you are, to learn about something new.
Yeah.
If it's something you know a little bit of, something you know nothing of, something
get
you're
interested.
curious of,
Be
or something
curious.
you've never heard.
You're advocating for curiosity, essentially.
I'm advocating for people to listen to our content and find their place in it.
Okay, sure.
Find your place in our content.
There's
Whether we would get 4 views on this or 400,000,
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't care.
Right.
I'm enjoying time with my buddy.
You know I sound like a broken record, but we are buddies. You're my best friend. That's it.
So much fun doing this.
It's a great
really
opportunity
do.
for each one of us to bring what we want out of this and into this to this.
Yes.
Right?
And
this was initially your idea. It was Michael's idea.
Thank you.
And I had been wanting to do
annoying.
a YouTube channel for a long time, but I had
Yes.
my own reservations and my own hesitancies and my own
We texted about this. The text
apathy.
when I said we should start a podcast called Hypersecurity, when I texted that, because that was the impetus of this whole thing, your response included something about wanting to start. You said this exact thing, that you've been wanting to start a gun YouTube. And when you said that, I think...
And this isn't going to be like us out shooting footage, but it gives me the opportunity to have get a little bit of it out of my system.
but why wouldn't we? Could include that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we could. There'd be a whole bunch more gear and things to learn, but yeah, we definitely could.
What? How interesting.
Yeah.
This is what's
Spend some more of
This
Dan's
is what's
money.
cool. No. Hey. I lost you, man. What happened? We're having a good time connecting on the idea of that we could maybe film stuff.
I know, I'm messing with you.
I know, but come on, man.
You can keep talking. I want to show you something.
Okay. The cool thing about this is that this is what I was going to say. I heard Dax Shepard talk about this with Monica, his co-host. He wasn't talking about it with her. He was talking about it regarding her. Rick Glassman had asked him about having a co-host and stuff, or having a partner or whatever on a podcast. And he said that one thing that it happens is that I want it to be an enjoyable experience for you. I want us to feel good about this when we're done. I want you to feel like you were a valuable part of it. I want you to feel like it couldn't have happened without you, because there's a unique dynamic that we have and whatever. And I also want to feel that way about myself. And I also want to not get in the way. And I also want you to not get in the way of that. And I think the best way to make sure that we do that, the best way that we've found, is by talking about it and going, here's what I think would be great. And the cool thing about, let me be careful, specific with how I say this. one thing that I've recognized about the fact that we were not friends for a period and now we are again, or whatever, that we didn't talk or whatever, however you want to word what happened. The thing that I've realized now that it's left me feeling is that I am very I'm very specific in that I do the thing I want to do the things that I know will give us the best chance of having like connecting more. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying is that it's made me more aware of the importance of our friendship and relationship. And I sometimes get dismissive about stuff when I am insecure about, like, because it's hard to just be like, hey, you're important to me. Like, that's hard for me to say sometimes. But so sometimes I get dismissive, and I try to be thoughtful about that, where I go, our relationship or whatever, like, what a shitty way to talk about that, you know what I mean? Been friends for fucking, you know what I mean? Like we said, so many years, and then I'm just like, yeah, or whatever the fuck. But
I do embrace the opportunity to.
My whole point is that
The point is,
I think that this is an interesting conversation and worthwhile conversation about what we want this segment to be, because this is like the making of, if you want it to be, behind the scenes of like what we eventually make, which is a good GOP segment of you teaching me about this gun.
Oh, you're talking about just this? I'm talking about the whole podcast,
I guess I could
the
be
whole
too.
channel, the whole everything.
Oh, one thing
I'm going to show you something
go.
that you've been bugging me about forever.
Okay, go.
I'm just going to zoom in and show you one little clip of it.
Okay.
When I was talking about.
Why don't we put it up there? We got a camera on it.
No,
Okay.
this is just for Michael to know.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, hey, we're going to go out and do shooting videos and we have to do all this and buy more gear. You got excited. And then I made the joke about me having to fund it.
Okay.
This was my December deposits.
Oh, nice.
So.
But don't you owe that to your employees or something?
No,
or
that
that's
was
to you?
my December deposit.
Oh, interesting.
So.
Fuck me.
No,
but also allow the fact that you...
Did anything change in your mind, Michael?
No. I don't know.
Okay, good.
I get why. The only thing is it confirmed why you definitely didn't want to put it up there. Like, that makes sense now. but
that was with 4 clients not paying also.
Wow.
So my check was even smaller.
Okay, anyway. See, he lost me now. This is my point. You made your point. This is something I'm bad at too. Is
I'm
knowing,
trying to communicate with you.
I know that's what you think, but I'm on. I know. But my
You've been
job,
wondering about this for a while.
Yes, I have. I appreciate you showing me.
Trying to be.
I do
open
appreciate that.
I'm actually like nervous.
Are you really? Really? Why? Because you.
Our history was.
This is what I'm saying.
Different with finances and roommates and owing money and Michael paying for everything and Daniel always being broke.
See, this is a thing that
now
you actively remember, is that there is a period in our friendship where I was the one who was more able to pay for things. Is that the way you would word it? And you walk around with that memory and that understanding, and you sometimes remind me of that when I get a little bit insecure about the fact that you're paying for more shit than I am or whatever. Like, sometimes I'll say
there is a level of, whether there's checks and balances, there is a level of, hey man, I owe you for
that's interesting.
that Chipotle or that bowling alley experience or that beer or whatever. So
back then. Yeah, so interesting that you walk around with that feeling. I don't know why. I'm not even saying this as a morality thing. It's probably just because I have a bad memory. Like, let's just chalk it up to that. I don't remember that, and so sometimes it is like, that is interesting. I forget that that's at play. Do you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you remind me of that. I know, that's what I mean.
It weighs on me.
That's what I mean. That's exactly
I like
what
being
I mean.
the caretaker, not the care receiver.
Sure, but
I'm a
it's
giver.
nice to have. But
I'm a
it's
giver
nice
at
to have
heart.
this in a thing.
Yeah, I'm a giver at heart
Something
in
nice
all
about
areas
that.
of my life, and when I'm receiving, especially. For some reason, the financial thing is different.
Yeah. Money's weird, man.
It's
I know it just goes on trees, but you just showed me how much of the trees you made, and you started shaking in the chair. You know what I'm saying? So let's not be so dismissive about money or guns that we're like forgetting that these things are like the things that define the fucking world. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes
money and guns,
dude. I mean, it's crazy. Sometimes you're like, it just grows on trees, and it's just a pow or whatever you fucking say.
You got the 3 main food groups: guns, money, and drugs.
Exactly.
End of watch. Great movie.
Is that what he said?
3 criminal main food groups.
Is that
gun,
the line?
Money and drugs. Yeah.
Wow. Is it food groups?
He said something like that. Yeah.
I know it is something like that, but I feel like it's not food groups. I know what scene you're talking about. Yeah.
Here we have 2 of the major food groups: money and gun.
Edit it in. No, but he also goes. There's so
Looks
many
like
good lines.
Liberace's AK.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. What's that? You gonna
Liberace's from Rainbow, the movie Rainbow,
okay?
and he has like a
Golden gun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay. See, I didn't know. I always heard that, and I never knew what it meant. See, this is and what a beautiful thing. Now I know it's from Rainbow, which is very funny because
Rambo.
when you
Not
just said-
Rainbow,
oh, it's not.
Rambo.
Oh, I thought you said rainbow every time.
No, John-
which is why
no.
I didn't say anything. Cut to a
Sylvester's-
clip of me just staring at you.
I'm
going
gonna
to
cut to a clip of Sylvester Stallone making a weird face.
Well, if
Rambo holding a machine
if
gun.
I had understood that you said Rambo, I definitely would have reacted differently. When you said rainbow, I go, "What the fuck does that even mean?" And then
My Little Pony has gold AKs now.
I assumed it had to be a movie.
Fucking
but the fact that
Teletubbies.
you just go rainbow and expect me to know that that's a movie and not just a thing in the sky.
Rambo.
Yeah, I get it now.
R-A-M-B-O.
Yes.
Romeo Alpha
Yo.
Mike Bravo Oscar.
I had such bad. Speaking of BO, dude, some about my armpit smelled so bad earlier today, and it's
I made a statement once to a female about
Couple
her
days- but
significant
I
other,
showered
and I
yesterday.
said,
I showered before I came.
I said a real man wears deodorant, and I don't even wear deodorant. I wear antiperspirant.
perspirant.
That too.
Okay.
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
yeah.
Aluminum's bad for your man armpit titties
Yes.
for cancer. Don't care.
For it'll give you breast cancer. Is that what they say?
Yeah, the aluminum and most antiperspirants.
Yeah. I've
will-
heard that there's something that
can
maybe
give you cancer.
Dude,
You know how they say cancer in Spanish?
No.
El cancer.
Oh, I could have guessed that.
let me tell you something. When I'm in the basement, I don't care about anything.
We're in a basement. You probably have
That's
cancer
what I
already.
mean, dude.
Leeching.
I feel so when I'm down here, like I am. Here's what I'm about when we're down here.
Staying
I'm
up
about
late.
hanging out. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Oh God, I'm gonna bust because you just reminded me of something I wanted to talk about earlier. Because when you were talking about your responsibility with guns and the way that you want to talk about them, when we were having that whole big discussion, you had mentioned something to the effect of that. Relating to maturity and joking about these things and being perceived as somebody who doesn't take them seriously enough, maybe, I think is kind of what you were getting at.
Yeah.
I would like to argue that, again, we are lacking nuance in that conversation because you and I, if there's one thing we get along on, it's that there's nothing we joke about stuff. That's what we do. That's how we communicate. That's how we talk to each other. Obviously, we can have interesting, serious conversations as well. But the way that we most of the time get to know each other is by laughing and joking about shit. That's how we. That's what the whole point of this is
The point is,
about. I'm not saying it has to always be
But
comedy or funny.
There's an asterisk here. When
Okay.
I am actively holding a real firearm,
Yes.
my comedy to you falls on deaf ears.
Do you really think so?
I have observed it.
Give me an
every
example.
Single time,
Okay, give me an
every
example.
single time I pick up a firearm,
Okay.
the level of seriousness, either observation, you're trying to open your eyes wide and see so much at once that you're not focused on the comedy or the humor.
Oh, I might miss jokes because it changed
Or-
the energy in the room. That might be. Sure.
yeah, or you
Definitely.
are concerned about the safety of it or something.
Okay.
That the
Again,
jokes,
distracted.
the jokes fall. The only time you laugh at gun jokes is when it's like making a joke about.
Well,
something.
you're certainly-
when I'm physically actively holding a firearm.
Yeah.
your entire ambiance, your entire focus,
My focus, yeah.
changes, which
Goes
is good.
to the gun.
Which is good. It goes to you go into fight or flight mode, which is good when
I
you're
don't know
around.
about that.
It's what I see, and I see it on a lot of people that are not super exposed to firearms. When they are around one,
I certainly am
They start to
aware that it's there.
They start to get that tunnel vision where they focus on only a few things.
Okay.
Fight or flight. Your eyes,
See,
your pupils narrow, right? And you're not
You're
focusing.
describing Predator in action biscuit picture.
You're this way in life, and then when it comes down to the guns, you get to like this
Right.
towards it, and
My focus becomes on you holding the gun. Like you're talking about literally like my eyes. I start to.
your eyes, your body language, what
Yeah.
you say, you
This is-
sit up more straight, you get more acute in your awareness. Like it's important.
I want to be sure I can see it. That's why Biscuit likes being tall.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
So
like a cat. My last
it's-
name is Gaddy.
Right, and so that's part
Sorry.
of the nuance is people that see me with one want to see me handle it, even if they don't even recognize I'm handling it improperly. People that don't know about guns don't know if I'm handling it right or
Well,
or
I mean,
not wrong.
Sure.
Or not right. You know.
I mean, they might. I mean, there's certainly like you can tell certain things
you'll
are not
see
the way to
things-
do it.
You'll see things on movies. Here, I'm going to give you a perfect example.
Okay.
Of this.
In Rainbow.
The gun is unloaded. You'll see on movies people will pick up a gun. It was on freaking the other guys.
Okay.
When he takes his gun, he does this. His fingers on the trigger.
here we go. Do it, yes.
You'll get this back, he says. You'll get this back when I know you know how to use it.
Yeah, when he gives him the wood gun or whatever.
Yeah, he's holding his real gun with his finger on the
Yeah.
trigger. 4 firearm safety rules.
He's holding he's holding. Is he really in that scene?
Yeah. He's
Wow.
like, you get this
Michael
back.
Keaton?
Yeah, you get this back when you know how to use it. Don't
And he
do
has
this.
his finger on the trigger.
This is what you do anytime you're holding a gun.
See,
Unless you
hold on,
are
hold on, hold
shooting.
on, hold
I'm
on.
going to give the 4 cardinal firearm safety rules.
No, I know, but give them nurturing.
Possibly even lover-like treatment.
Yeah.
All right.
No, this is what
You
he's
go.
doing.
This is what.
This is what he's doing in the movie.
Right.
That's
This is what he's doing. This is
that
what I
will-
want him to do.
This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Any questions?
That is
Master of Disguise again. Wow.
doing this with a firearm unless you are making the bullet come out of the unless you're firing it.
Yes.
That is
Irresponsible.
Will get you in trouble.
I get a timeout?
Well,
That's a no-no. That's a no-no.
Irresponsible and
The first rule of gun safety is treat every gun as if it's loaded.
That's
the baseline. Hang on, I don't
okay,
want to get.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
don't wanna
trying
get,
not
I don't
to
want to
interrupt.
get too caught up on
Go,
each
go.
one individually.
It's okay.
Treat every firearm as if it's loaded.
I want to come back to that because I have a parallel.
Caveat.
Okay.
Right? I handle firearms for a living.
Yes.
My version of that is always know the condition of your firearm.
But yes.
Check and be aware of the condition of your firearm.
You're continuing the parallel that I have.
The
Continue.
second firearm safety rule is don't touch the trigger.
Yeah.
Keep your finger off of the trigger.
That's part of treat a gun like
the
it's
state
loaded.
that we live in says keep your finger outside of the trigger and along the frame until you've made the decision to fire it.
Yes. Yeah.
So don't go near that unless you are shooting.
Don't even.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see what we covered. Treat every gun as if it's always loaded. Keep your
Yep.
finger off the trigger until you made a decision to shoot.
Yep.
Know your target.
Yeah. No, what's behind your target?
Know what your target and what is behind, around, and near it.
Yeah.
And don't point a firearm as something you're not willing to destroy.
Yes.
Those are the 4 firearm safety rules. Anybody that has had to do any firearms training or any capacity, those are the rules that you have to know in order to pass.
Yes. Would you also?
Those are the few smallest itties.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly you should know more than that.
That's how much information that gives you.
Yes.
Right? There's so much more that goes into it.
Of
But
course.
if you follow those, nothing bad can happen.
It's certainly
Nothing bad can happen. They don't go off by themselves. It's physically impossible.
Right.
But even with a gun that has not been maintained, they don't go off by themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're treating it if it's loaded, if you're not touching the trigger, if you're pointing it in a direction where you know where everything is, and not at things you want to destroy like your TV or your family, then nobody can get hurt.
I love that you said TV first.
TV people do that. I dry fire on when I'm watching John Wick. I'll shoot the bad guys with him.
Do you have your finger on the trigger?
Yeah, absolutely. I always know the condition of my firearm. These are the cardinal rules for firearm safety.
But you can't. But one rule can't cannibalize the other rule.
Correct.
They all have to work simultaneously. I understand what you're saying. So let me make my parallel really quick before we run out of time. The parallel here that I understand because I'm a caregiver is that like that's my experience in the world is universal precautions is what we call this. And it's usually in my field regarding blood or bodily fluids. It's
I deal
treat
with that
everything like it's diseased essentially. It's universal precautions.
Yes.
So you wear gloves, you use protective equipment, you take all of the precautions
stand upwind,
to minimize or you would hope would exist completely remove the risk of something bad happening,
and
right?
once that becomes
so treat everything like it's sick. And the second thing is check to see if like once you're in it now, like if you're able to check to like double check or whatever, like you said, like the first rule was treat every gun like it's loaded. The second rule in your example was
keep your finger outside of the trigger.
No, okay. Then the third rule was always know the condition of your firearm, which
that was the first one.
Huh?
That was the first one.
Okay. I don't think so.
I
Treat
said-
every gun as if it's
I
loaded.
said treat
was the
every
first one.
gun as if it's loaded, and I said my version of that is know
that's
the
not.
condition of your firearm.
No, that's a secondary. This is what I'm saying is that the rule treat every gun as if it's loaded is how you should. That is the basic level of respect you should have for a gun. The secondary thing to that is know whether it is or not.
Right.
Know for sure. Get in the habit immediately at 2 years old of when you see a gun, check and make sure it isn't loaded.
But
or
while
if it
you're
is,
doing that, don't touch the trigger and point
that's
it
what
in a
I'm
safe
saying.
direction. That's why these are the cardinal rules. We're going to look up definition of cardinal.
Beautiful. Write it on the list too, would you?
Yes, stay by.
Thank you.
What you're talking about with
This is fun.
What I'm talking about.
I really mean that. Does that sound like it?
Yeah, no, we have
I'm having such a good time.
We have a lot of these podcasts where we're just sitting here playing golf clash and cracking jokes.
I know, this is so fun.
This one's a good one. Cardinal.
Well, I mean, they have their
a
role.
leading
that's not
dignitary of the Roman Catholic Church.
That's not it.
A new world songbird
meaning cardinal
of the greatest importance, fundamental.
Of the greatest importance and fundamental.
Fundamental. If you have the fundamentals, right, the baseline.
Yeah, use cardinal rule in the original sentence.
Fundamentals. Hang on. Fundamental, baseline, foundation. What happens with a foundation? You build on it. The foundation of responsible firearm ownership.
Are these 4 things you just listed a minute ago?
Right.
And none of them can remove the need for the other one. So the idea that
they are what holds everything up.
I disagree with the behavior of having your finger on the trigger when you're watching John Wick. I disagree with that because what that's doing is that you're allowing the rule of that you always know what your firearm is.
We have 15 seconds left. I hate to cut you off. We'll continue.
Okay.
Now, hang on.
Oh, okay, go.
Dry fire practice is recommended and extremely important. So there's a time and a place where you do have to touch the trigger.
Let's have a nuanced conversation about that in the next one.